We're going to look at Mark chapter 1, verses 16 and 18, and it says this. It says, passing along the Sea of Galilee, he, Jesus, saw Simon and Andrew, the brother of Simon, casting a net into the sea, for they were fishermen. And Jesus said to them, follow me, and I will make you become fishers of men. And immediately they left their nets and followed him. You know, the modern portrayal of the lone wolf, we see it in movies all the time. One man against everybody, all alone, and he's taken over the world. You know, that's not really what we're designed to be. You know, I mean, a quick look at this passage where Jesus is inviting people to come into community with him and follow him should be sufficient for the realization that that's not the way that God intended it to be, or that he expected us to go it alone. In fact, if we take it all the way back to the Garden of Eden, what did Jesus say after he created man and everything? It's not good for him to be alone, right? So we're created for community. God himself is community within himself. And I just want to point to this study they did. And it was a town called Roseto, Pennsylvania, right? And it was populated by Italian immigrants back in the day and they developed a reputation for an unusually long lives. And also, they had personal relationships. You know, people were friends for generations, and they cared about each other. Not only was this town known for the relationships, it was known it exceeded the life expectancy of all of America, really. So researchers began to see what's different about these people, and they really found out from a lifestyle standpoint. They weren't eating any healthier, they were smoking and drinking just like everybody else. There was nothing in particular about the longevity that they could put a finger on, you know. Then again, industrialization started to set in around that. And researchers looked at this town again. And by then, you know, like I said, industrialization had made its mark. People left. New people were moving into this. And the longtime residents that were observed no longer lived down the street from one another, right? And guess what? As the connections disintegrated, life expectancies plunged. And just in case you're thinking of moving to Roseto, you know, think again, your chances of living longer by living there are no better than anywhere else in the country anymore. It was the relationships that they determined that really created this longevity of life. We were created in God's image. We were created in Genesis 1:27. God exists in community within himself, within the Trinity, and he created us to image him. We were created for community. Right? So if we're his image bearers, it's not hard to see. It's not hard to put that together. God has not called us to go it alone. He has called us to aspire to be in community with each other, to be on mission together, and he's given us that mission. And that is to have relationship with him. It is to bring others into that relationship and bring others into that community. And so we need to grow closer as people. We need to grow closer relationally. We need to grow closer personally. We need to grow closer spiritually. And right now is a difficult time because people are staying home. People are isolated. And they think that's what's best. And in a lot of cases, it's not. Depression is soaring. Mental health is soaring. There's all kinds of problems that isolation is causing. And we need to be safe, we need to be wise, but we also need to understand we're created for community with one another, where we can be encouraged, where we can be pushed forward, where we can interact. We need to worship together. And the scriptures even say that. You know, don't not meet together, as some might do, but come together. And so our worship of the Lord isn't this private, personal thing. It's something, there's a personal aspect, but we're to bring it into community and worship together. So don't miss out on coming together in community on Sundays and events. Seek community. Seek community. That's where you're going to find health, mental health. That's where you're going to find spiritual health. So I just want to encourage you to remember, We are created in the image of God, and we need to represent him in every facet of our lives. And part of that is being in community together as believers. We're connected to the same God, and therefore we are connected to the same community. See you around.